Good evening and thanks for joining us. Moses, we have kind of a different sports feature today. Tell me a bit about it.
Well, Danny Vachon really got into the bodybuilding just last year, but she's really got into it. She's had family into it, and it's certainly a great piece and something that is quite interesting. A little bit different from these parts, but I know there's a big bodybuilding community here, and you know, it's a great story we have. And again, we'll have more. I can't spill it all for you.
It does sound really interesting, though. I'm looking forward to it.
You'll have to know more about it in sports, but that should be coming up, and it should be a treat.
And Gerard, a pretty nice day, but I hear we may be getting some snow tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been singing that song for the last few days, so we know it's coming down the pike, all right? But let's enjoy today while it still lasts. We're going to see a buildup of cloud cover as the evening goes along. Right now, though, we got to a high temperature of -17 just after 1 o'clock. We're at -19. The wind chill is -26. And across the region, that wind chill moved from about the -30s up to about -21. The winds have been west-southwest, south-southwest for the better part of the day. It hasn't really been gusting into the 20s. That, too, is going to change out within the next 12 to 24 hours as that goes along, certainly. But for now, what we're dealing with is a steady buildup of cloud cover, and we're running anywhere from a 30 to 40% chance of seeing some flurries before morning. Details of all of that coming up shortly.
Charges against 3 companies in a fatal stage collapse at a popular Alberta music festival have been stayed. The Crown says there was no reasonable chance of conviction against Panhandle Productions, Global Productions Co., and a numbered company in Alberta. The companies faced almost 3 dozen charges after a powerful windstorm caused the main stage to collapse at the Big Valley Jamboree near Camrose in 2009. Donna Moore from Lloydminster was killed and more than a dozen people injured. The Crown says it consulted with occupational health and safety investors before making the decision. Staying a charge means that it can be reactivated if significant new evidence becomes available within a year. North Battleford bylaw enforcement is recommending pet owners have their animals' vaccinations up to date after a coyote in the area tested positive for canine distemper. Kayla Buchanan has more.
The infected coyote was shot and killed near the Saskatchewan hospital after bylaw officials received reports of it showing some strange behavior.
We had a call from Sask Hospital about a coyote acting strange that wasn't running away from anyone and was getting closer and closer to the cottages out at.
The coyote was brought to Dr. Sean Hawes for both rabies and distemper testing.
He did have red eyes, but not, there was no discharge from the eyes. But certainly that's what the concern was as far as distemper goes in that perspective, is that was the only symptom that was there besides the abnormal behavior.
Canine distemper is a viral disease attacking the respiratory, digestive, and neurological systems in an animal, and it's usually fatal.
Animals with distemper have a poor appetite. They have fever that's intermittent. They often have diarrhea. They will occasionally also have kind of a green pussy discharge from their eyes.
Since canine distemper is both highly contagious and fatal, prevention through vaccination is your best defense against the disease. You can also take precautions around your home to avoid attracting coyotes to the area.
The biggest thing is if you're feeding your own domestic animals outside is to make sure when they're done eating that you pick up that food, or don't feed them outside, feed them in the house. Also to make sure that you don't leave any garbage lying around.
If you see wildlife acting unusual, either staggering or approaching people, you're encouraged to report it to bylaw enforcement or the RCMP in your area. Kayla Buchanan, Newcap News.
Well, Lloydminster residents know full well the benefits and challenges that come with being part of a bi-provincial city. Unfortunately, many of these challenges are often overlooked by the Alberta and Saskatchewan governments. As Emmett Murphy reports, the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce is bringing greater awareness to the city's unique situation.
In the second phase of a 3-part discussion, the Lloydminster Leaders Group met with Alberta's deputy ministers in Edmonton this week. The group is made up of officials in health, education, politics, and business. They met with Saskatchewan officials in September, presenting information and ideas to the government to help them better understand the complexities of the area. This latest meeting on the other side of the border provided a more unified and candid approach.
It gave us the opportunity to ensure that we were one voice, speaking as one voice, and showing that cooperation amongst ourselves internally.
Well, you know, when I got here, there was things that we needed to do with government that hadn't been done. And so working with these deputy ministers is critical. They're the CEOs of their departments.
When you see a plan that's coordinated amongst all these agencies, it's not something that's simply a flippant request. It's a request that's been thought out, it's systematized, and it's a significant request.
What has both the provinces and the city excited is having Lloydminster as an example of how multiple provinces, governments, and economies can work in unison.
So with the New West Partnership Agreement in the works, you know, Lloydminster can be a test case to show how two governments can have some success as far as dealing with the issues and challenges amongst the provinces.
The one deputy minister spoke to us as being at the center of all this action, where there were many learnings they could have that would apply to other parts of the province.
The group plans on hosting deputy ministers after the provincial election this spring. They hope that will open up the opportunity for even more discussions.
Well, I'd like to see a Mayor's Health Summit with both provinces involved before the term's up in October. I'd like to see us do a joint provincial cabinet ministers meeting here in Lloydminster before my term's up. Those are some lofty goals, but I think they can be accomplished.
Emmett Murphy, Newcap News.
A Border City High School is in the international spotlight for leading the pack in technology. Holy Rosary has been named a 2012 Smart Showcase Elite School, an honor held by just 25 schools in the world.
Our technology is getting recognized.
The days of the pencil and paper may not be obsolete, but now students have all sorts of technology to tap into. A major boost for the Lloydminster Catholic School Division, the installation of smart boards.
A smart board is like opening the window on the world. You can have any piece of the world, any piece of information at your fingertips.
Adding that technology in every classroom has given the school some international recognition.
We were chosen as one of the top 25 in the world for our use of smart technology and for our innovation in the field of using technology in learning.
Kids here say the technology helps with day-to-day learning.
It's easier to understand when you have all those pictures up there and like actual photographs of what we're actually learning about.
It's convenient for notes. You don't have to wait for him to write it, and for diagrams and things like that.
And now it's something students not only tap into, it's technology they can't live without.
A quote from a student was, all the smart boards are down, how are we going to learn?
Holy Rosary will hold the Smart Showcase Elite School title for 2012 and hope multiple schools in the Catholic School Division will be recognized next year.
It's really nice that Holy Rosary, as a leader in technology, was acknowledged as an elite school.